to you guys. All of you except for the one man who didn't really grasp, I think, what I was saying on the panel, because at the bar later that night, actually at 4 in the morning, we were at the hotel bar. 4 a.m. I said, you know, I've had enough, guys. I'm exhausted. Going to bed. So I walked to the elevator, and a man got on the elevator with me and said, "Don't take this the wrong way, but I find you very interesting, and I would like to talk more. Would you like to come to my hotel room for coffee?" Just a word to the wise here, guys. Don't do that. You know,
No, we don't know, but please continue.
I don't really know how else to explain how this makes me incredibly uncomfortable, but I'll just sort of lay it out that it was a single woman, you know, in a foreign country at 4 a.m. in a hotel elevator with you, just you, and don't invite me back to your hotel room right after I finished talking about how it creeps me out and makes me uncomfortable when men sexualize me in that manner. So yeah, but everybody else seems to really get it.
So you say they get it. No, you don't get it, but I do. Seems like you were double talking, double speaking. So, I'm going to ask you a question, Rebecca, and any woman. When you say the words uncomfortable, can you define what you mean by feeling uncomfortable? I'd really like to know. Let me ask you this. I'm pretty sure you live alone by choice. My question is to you, do you feel uncomfortable living by yourself? When you dress provocative and you walk out in public, do you feel uncomfortable then? You should. I mean, when you get up on webcam, you pose yourself, you take pictures of yourself in a sexualized way, do you feel uncomfortable then? But then you say you don't want people sexualizing you. I don't understand what you're saying. When you take the bus, the train, and you with other groups of people, do you feel uncomfortable? And especially what you're wearing. When you took the plane, think about it. The plane could have crashed. You didn't feel uncomfortable then. When you got in your car. Yeah, when you got in your car or you're riding with somebody. Do you feel uncomfortable, especially when you or the person who's driving is going like 80 miles per hour or going off too slow when motherfuckers are doing 80 miles behind them about to run you off the road? Do you feel uncomfortable? I mean, those are things that you should feel really uncomfortable. I mean, if you go to a restaurant, and I know how you women are, you get nasty to the waiter or waitress, and they might put something in your food that you don't know nothing about. Yeah, I mean, you should feel uncomfortable, especially if you have food allergies. I mean, these are reasonable things to feel uncomfortable. So I'm like, huh? I mean, what do you mean by uncomfortable? I need you to specify. Take the emotional bullshit that you speak out. A lot of you women are just too emotional. You need facts, logical facts. I know logic is hard for you because society said you're not allowed to be logical. Wait a minute, that's sexism, right? That is sexism. Because I thought women were smart. You're so smart that you create your own fucking killers. What the fuck are you doing out at 4 a.m.? Oh, I forgot I can't ask you that question. Because you can walk out at 4, anytime you are past 12 a.m., when it's past 12 a.m., you can roam around public, especially if you're dressing provocative, and you can wear whatever you want. You can be drunk, talk crazy, especially with the guys who are sausages. Oh yeah, I forgot, you stereotype them out for 1 to 5 fucking seconds or less. You stereotype them out, you deny them. They're not good looking. You're rude to them. You're disrespectful. I think men should feel uncomfortable with that because y'all bitches are crazy. If you sleep with a guy and you find out he's undesirable, then you want to cry rape, even though it was a consensual act. If it's to cover your own ass because you don't want to be perceived to be a slut, or you just, it's regret because you regret giving your pussy up too quick. So we men should feel uncomfortable about that. Oh, but nah, we got to be tough, right? Isn't that what the TV set told you, right? Oh, what the fuck do you mean? Don't do that. I mean, the dude wasn't here to. First of all, you knew the guy. He was an acquaintance, so you were comfortable past 12 a.m. in public, in a bar, hotel bar, doesn't matter what the fuck were you at. You should have been a good girl and gone to bed, on time, like 9 p.m. instead of being out in public in the streets, whatever the fuck you were doing. You're roaming in the city that you don't know, and it's past 12 a.m. Oh, I forgot. You want to have a good time. You really can't make that complaint about being uncomfortable because of the fact that you were talking to this guy. You had no problem. I don't care if it was a group of guys. You were out there in public. You were the only girl that you felt comfortable talking to the guy past 3 a.m. I mean, it was like past 12 a.m., past 2 a.m. It was over past 3 a.m. So you felt comfortable then. Then you get to the elevator. I don't know how many floors you had to go up. That's the part you left out. And the guy said, I find you interesting. I don't find you interesting at all. You're ugly. And don't take this the wrong way. You're white trash. You're a cunt. And it's typical female privilege, particularly white female privilege, because there's a lot of Caucasian women talking that dumb shit. Always talking that dumb shit. Uncomfortable and all that stuff with your feminazi. But y'all had no problem doing the Girls Gone Wild and degrading yourself and making fools out of yourself. I'm not saying you're that person. I forgot I can't judge you, but you can judge me, right? You can judge that guy, right? He said he found you interesting, gave you a compliment. All I'm getting is that he asked, since the night was still young, and I guess y'all had some energy, and he figured that, can you come over to my place to have coffee? What the hell? How is that objectification? I'd like to know, what is objectifying? What is objective? I want facts. I don't want emotions. I want common sense facts. How is that uncomfortable when you were up all fucking night? Practically, it was 4 a.m., about to be 5 a.m. where some people had to wake up early to go to fucking work. And you felt uncomfortable, but you wasn't uncomfortable when it hit 12 a.m. 4 hours ago. You was comfortable. During those 4 hours, you were comfortable socializing. And then you tell us not to do that. So what the fuck are we supposed to do? First of all, are you in that guy's head? Let me ask you a question. Are you in that guy's head? Do you know his intentions? You are assuming. Honestly, the guy didn't persist. He didn't pressure you to any situation. He didn't say nothing about sex. So you need to grow the fuck up. Yes, because you want to ask what the intentions are. Be straight up. You don't have nothing to lose. You're in the elevator. Chances are, if he did put his hands on you, he'd be in jail. Chances are, if you had to go up a couple of floors, there's an emergency button. Right? There's an emergency button. Everybody can probably hear you. All you have to do is, it takes a scream. You just raise your voice, and then I'm pretty sure you have a lot of Captain Save-A-Hoes willing to save your ass. So get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. And I'm going to let this gentleman talk. Then I'm going to jump back, and I got something for Diana Boston.
I'll have links to all the videos. This girl is essentially bitching because some guy invited her for coffee. Invited her to his hotel room for coffee at 4 in the morning. Okay. I wish I had written this out, but I'm just so pissed off. And I'll let you know why in a second. that I don't know. Couple questions come to mind. One, if she's going to feel uncomfortable. Actually, before I even get into that, she's apparently in a foreign country. She was in Dublin, in Ireland. So she's in a foreign country and she's at a bar till 4 a.m. with a whole bunch of dudes. You can see where this is going. Okay. Now's where the questions come in. If you were so comfortable around those guys, I'm going to get to that comfortable bit in a second too. If you're so comfortable around those guys until 4 a.m. in the morning, what happened to all that comfort when one of those same guys, not even some new guy, just that same guy, comes into the elevator? Okay? Next thing, what were you doing up at 4 a.m. in the morning? Having a drink at a bar. I mean, with a whole bunch of dudes. Now, of course, I know the standard issue answer is, oh, well, what are you trying to say? She's not allowed to. Oh, my God, my rights. Oh, who are you to blah, 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 blah. Women have the right. What the hell were you doing at 4 a.m. at the bar drinking? Can you not do that? Of course you can do that. Of course you can. But the problem is, you know, when you start bitching like this, people look at stuff like that, okay? I mean, it's like if you make a claim, I mean, like if you take somebody to court, like if you take 12 different people to court 12 times, people are going to start looking for something like, say, sexual harassment or rape or something. People are going to start looking at your history like, you're known for wearing highly provocative stuff, you're known for doing highly provocative things, yet you're complaining. And I bring this up because this girl in her video was bitching about this guy and bitching about objectification. Yet this is the same girl, and I have a link to this too, this is the same girl that has a topless photo, a nude photo of her in the bathroom. On the internet of her in the bathroom with some retarded looking periodic table type shower curtain of the periodic table. So you know, I mean, you're a feminist, you bitch about objectification, yet you have that up there. And we all know objectification is BS because there's nothing on this planet or in existence that men look at the same way they look at a woman, not even a car. Even though that may be the closest thing, but not even a car. So you don't really turn into any kind of object. But anyway.
Hold up. I want to show you this. I mean, a lot of women talking about they're feeling objectified. Remember, there was a cop that said out in, I believe, Ontario, Canada, and that's Toronto, Ontario, Canada, about a cop commented, if you women will stop dressing provocative, stop dressing slutty, you know, you might not like the tone how he said it, but that's the real truth. And if you got offended, then he's actually talking about you bitches who are actually dressing all provocative, putting yourselves in danger, being ignorant, being like a naive child, thinking they could do whatever without no statute of limitations. Now, don't get me wrong, you can say you don't have no statute of limitations. However, when it comes to consequences of repercussions, if you're not ready to face these consequences of repercussions, then you just need to just shut the fuck up. After the cop made that comment, then they have a slut walk about, and then you got women objectifying themselves and disrespecting themselves. Western women, mostly Caucasian feminazi broads, stupid broads. I'm going to say that because these are the type of bitches who just, for some reason, they annoy me the most with their bullshit. Going to school with them, growing up around them, they annoy me with their bullshit. They're always the victim. They're always the victim of everything. They're the most, I mean, they're the only woman of the problem who suffer. Every other woman, especially if she's of color, it don't matter. I mean, Caucasians, majority, I'm speaking, not all, but they all seem like they can cry about their problems, but nobody else can. Especially these broads. They speak for all women, man, but they don't know. But they don't want to acknowledge the racial struggles of other women of color go through. And I know damn well they don't want to. They don't care about men's issues, especially if he's a darker hue. If you know what I mean, a darker hue. If you know what I mean, brown skin. They don't care about our issues, but we got to sit back and be quiet about the injustice, the misandry, and the more damaging about the misandry that men face, especially if he's of color. Then you got the overt racial overtones that take place. That makes racism a lot easy to target men. You understand that? But I want to show you the slut luck of these fools. They cry about men objectifying them, but they objectify themselves. Oh, I forgot, you can do it anytime you want. If you're interested in a guy, you pick who approaches you, and he got to approach you this way, X, Y, Z. This is a combination code of how you approach me, how you talk to me. Bitch, please, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck gives you the right to tell me how I gotta approach you? What gives you that right? I will approach you the way I feel I need to approach you. If you are not respecting yourself, well, guess what? Nobody will respect you unless you respect yourself. If you're not treating me the way you want me to treat you, then you really can't talk. You have no room to talk. You understand? You don't approach men, but you expect the man to do it all, to provide you with this, provide you with that. And then he got to say some magic words. He got to come off this way. So basically, it doesn't matter what a guy does, as long as he's desirable, as long as you find him attractive, as long as he has what you want, he can get away with almost anything. And then women wonder why we don't take your complaints seriously, especially when it comes to feminism, which is a fucking joke. And we'll watch this in ignorance. Then I gotta go back to that gentleman's video because he makes a hell of a lot of good points.
We are here because we've had enough. Enough of being told that we should be ashamed of ourselves, ashamed of our appearance, ashamed of our pleasure, and ashamed of being victimized. We are here to call foul on our protective services, who instead of making us feel safe, make us second guess whether we should call upon them at all in our time of need. With sexual assault already a heavily underreported crime, we need and expect better. To the many people who have asked us, why slut walk? Why take back a word that has been used to demean and demoralize? We're doing it because we have the power to change it.
So I was talking to Stealth Badger yesterday, or this morning, and he was saying a great thing in that date rape doesn't exist. Because the minute the rape starts,
the date ends. The date's over. Over here. Thank you. That's great. That's great. Thank you. Nice. Thank you. Ow, ow.
You have the right to dress like a slut! Go, sluts, go!
Another one of my students. Good to see you. Wow. Can't get it up.
I'm informed I needed the biggest dick for the size. I'm satisfied and comfortable with my size. Would you like to hold this, sir? Be proud.
You know, it's like, you sit here and you bitch. I mean, I don't understand the logic in that. If I were to say go at like 2 o'clock in the morning to the worst ghetto in the world, driving a Porsche or something, and then bitch about being uncomfortable, nobody would sit here and try to take my side. They would instantly demonize me, like, what are you doing at 2 o'clock in the morning, driving in the ghetto with a Porsche? And nobody would get off that because it would make logical sense. I mean, it's crazy to me. The next thing is this guy in this elevator, he essentially got demonized for doing exactly what, as according to one YouTuber, women want. She was there bitching about how that's what women wanted. Women wanted men to respect. No. This girl turned him down. He didn't try to force her. He didn't do anything at all. He let her go off. Okay? He simply asked. She said no, and that was it. And she comes on bitching about that. And here it is now. We got pussy-whipped idiots like this one guy, D. Landon Cole. I mean, you got to see this guy's video. This is amazing. You got idiots like this and pussy-whipped dudes like this saying that he was in the wrong, she was completely right to feel uncomfortable. Ladies, I'm going to tell you a little something. Existence does not revolve around you, okay? Nobody cares if you're uncomfortable or not. If you are uncomfortable with a guy walking down the street at night, and I'm saying this because this came from a comment that one YouTuber read, that was a comment from somebody else. You feel uncomfortable at night, you're the only girl in like a dark lit street and a guy's walking down, don't be out there at night. The guy has the right to be there. He has just as much right as you do for being there. Okay? If you want to feel uncomfortable, that's your problem, but just because you feel uncomfortable does not mean that the rest of time and space, life and existence has to stop until you're happy again. Existence does not revolve around you, okay? Nobody cares if you're uncomfortable or not. If you are uncomfortable with a guy walking down the street at night, and I'm saying this because this came from a comment that one YouTuber read, that was a comment from somebody else. You feel uncomfortable at night, you're the only girl in like a dark lit street and a guy's walking down, don't be out there at night. The guy has the right to be there. He has just as much right as you do for being there. Okay? If you want to feel uncomfortable, that's your problem, but just because you feel uncomfortable does not mean that the rest of time and space, life and existence has to stop until you're happy again. I mean, hell, if I was to sit here and bitch about all the times that I felt uncomfortable, good Lord, I mean, Jesus, it's ridiculous. It's just so stupid. Now, this guy, whoever this elevator guy is, I'm assuming he's not going to come out and say who he is, although maybe people already know. I haven't really cared too much about this. He propositioned a girl, propositioned a feminist. That was your first mistake. But he did this, and she turned him down, and that was it. He didn't try to do anything else. He didn't even ask again. I mean, you know, us guys are straight guys, manly man straight guys. We know how it's like, oh, you know what, don't give up, and, you know, persistence, you know, girls like being chased on that BS that can get you in trouble. He didn't do that. No means no, and okay. And here it is, this guy is getting demonized by so many people as if he had raped her. And at that point, I'm going to say, look, if you're going to sit here and essentially get castrated as if you tried to rape the girl or did rape the girl when you didn't, shit, you might as well get your money's worth and go for the gusto as far as I'm concerned, because this is ridiculous. This guy is getting ridiculed by so many people. He shouldn't be getting ridiculed by anybody, okay? It's 4 a.m. in the morning, okay? I mean, look, you're at a freaking bar, okay? It's not like you're at a freaking church or something. Wow. That is amazing to me. So this guy respected her no means no, and yet he's still getting demonized as if he tried to force himself on her, or did force himself on her. And of course, there was this one YouTuber, I forgot, she basically was saying, you know what, would I have been in that situation, no. And I wrote on her page, yo, feminists are going to have your head for that, because she's essentially saying, I would have thought out that situation, I wouldn't have put myself in that situation, I would not have allowed that to have any reasonable chance of happening. And essentially, here's the thing. She didn't want to say, because I think she is a feminist herself from what I understand, but she didn't want to say what everybody is telling women that feminists have a problem with. Everybody's telling women to do, which is take responsibility for your own actions. If you act this way, this is the consequence. If you dress this way, this is the consequence. If you do this thing that's not right for this situation, it's consequence. I believe in the Bible it says there's a time and place for everything. Okay? Do you dress like a nun if you are in a strip club? If you're a stripper in a strip club? No. Do you dress like a whore when you are going to church? No. And that's what she was trying to say. And she wouldn't just come out and say it. I wish I could find her name. I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but she wouldn't just come out and say it. You know, I would have been a bit more thoughtful. I would not have been drinking at 4 a.m. with a whole bunch of guys. I would have thought that out and not been so careless. But she didn't want to just come out and flat out say, you were an idiot. You should have been a bit more thoughtful. I don't understand.
Okay, guys, you're not going to believe this. I go to my local coffee shop, regular baristas there, right? And get this. This is what he says to me. He says, Wix, your hair looks really nice today. I know, right? My hair looks really nice today. Where does he get the nerve? I mean, it just totally objectified me. Your hair looks really nice today. Here's your latte. The misogyny. I mean, I was so disgusted. Like, I didn't even tip. I just walked out. I did stop to add a little cinnamon to my latte. But, you know, that's just completely uncalled for. We can't accept that. So tomorrow, we're going to go down and we are going to picket my local coffee shop. Actually, just the barista. Because the coffee's really good. Yeah. Sorry. Honestly, though, if everything went down the way Skepchick says it did, she's a fucking idiot. I mean, her description of the events is like, this guy really respectfully came up to her, advised her of his interest, and she just overreacted and got all offended for no reason. I mean, it's okay to express your interest in another person, whether it be friendship or sexual, you know, or academic, whatever you want, as long as you do it in a respectful manner. And it sounds like he totally did. But, you know, maybe she just has that, like, perpetual victim syndrome where she's always looking for someone to be abusing her in some way. Which is just sad and idiotic. But, you know, maybe I'm not the right person to be commenting on this. Other day, some guy told me my ass is a loose cannon, I better watch it before I hurt somebody. And I took it as a compliment, because I've got ass for days, and it's a wonderful thing.
You people have to understand this. If you disagree with a feminist,
then Aaron posted the video online, and the response was fascinating. I wanted to thank all of the misogynists who commented on that video, because some people will watch that video and they'll think that maybe I'm exaggerating. You know how girls are, sensitive. And then they'll read your comments, and they'll realize exactly how terrible you are and how it is a problem. So then we can move on with actually helping to stop the problem. So thank you for not hiding your misogyny. Thank you for
somebody like Rebecca. She's going to call you a misogynist because you have to agree with her. There's no crime that the guy committed to her. Nothing, no aggressive act. He didn't get his hands on her. He wasn't, like, in her face, got in her face and sort of like belittling her, verbally abusing the fuck out of her, physically abusing the fuck out of her. There was none of that. Going by what's being presented. The thing is, the whole no means no. What that really means is, to tell you the truth, it does not mean yes. No means you as the undesirable male, because I am a woman on my pedestal. No means you have to be at my mercy. No means beg and plead on my mercy. That's what it comes down to. Anytime you give a woman logic and common sense who's a feminist, she'll call you misogynist, because she can't come out with she can't refute anything, can't come out with a rebuttal. I mean, if you wrong, you wrong. The real reason why she can't come back with anything intelligent is because she's wrong. That's all, she's wrong. She loves to be the victim. That's how she stays on her pedestal. Women get power from being the victim. And this woman is correct. The video you saw after the other guy's video. She is correct. I guess she wanted the guy to beg so she can get her power. Because women get stroked with the whole simp ass begging. You have to fight for my no and persist and fend for yourself, persist and beg and plead, because I like that attention, even though at least negative, but it's stroking. So they can say men are dogs, men are slaves, they're pigs, men are dumb. I can control them with my cunt. That's what it comes down to. And that whole prove yourself, no means beg and plead to be to my mercy and be. No means beg and plead and be at my mercy and prove yourself. Prove to me that you want me. So and do everything you can so I can like you for being an idiot, and so I can have the upper hand as well. If you prove to me and beg to me, then I'll see that you care about me, even though I don't care about you, so I can use you and dog you out later. That's what it comes down to. Anyway, I have to put this other bitch on blast. She never really slammed me, but it's just behind the scenes, so I have to put this bitch on blast and smack a lot of stuff down. Then I'm going to finish up the whole video and this whole Rebecca Lawson nonsense. It's going to come to an end.
Umbrella with me. Now I'm really short. I'm like just at 5'2", and so I got my groceries and I was walking on my way home, and I was on the corner waiting for the light to change, and I had 2 bags of groceries on this arm, and I had an umbrella in this arm, and I was just standing there minding my own business, and I had my umbrella pretty much down to protect myself from the rain and the kind of icy kind of hail that was going on. And some guy literally came up to me, ducked down underneath my umbrella, and put his face in my face.
So what did he say, and what did he do after that? Please specify.
I mean, it's street harassment. He must have seen me coming towards him, and then when I got to the turn to wait for the light, he came right up to me and literally just went right underneath my umbrella. And he was definitely high on something. His eyes were, his pupils were all dilated, and he's like, "Look at me." And he's just like, he smiled, and he had like most of his teeth in the front were all like missing and shit. And I was afraid. I actually was afraid because, I mean, this guy, he was high. That was the thing. He was really fucking fucked up on something. And, of course, he was much larger than me. I mean, the guy was over 6 feet. And just the fact that he did that, it was like the strangest thing. And the light changed, and I just like dragged my umbrella, and I think I scraped him with my umbrella and just walked away. And it was really loud because, you know, the cars were going by, and it was like, you know, rain on the streets. It was really, really loud. But I thought I could hear him calling after me, going, hey, hey, hey. And a lot of women around here, and I've done it before too, when guys do that to me, I just simply yell, my name's not Hey. And if you don't know my name, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Diana, I like how you describe yourself to be a helpless victim. You made an assumption that he saw you and he wanted to approach you like he had an ulterior motive. What time of the day was this? I forgot. You can walk out. You can walk out anytime you want. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. You can do whatever. You're supposed to be. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I guess the world in your world, the world that you live in is supposed to revolve around you. You understand? I understand you. The world revolves around Diana Boston's feet. You never ever made a video showing off your feet. I just want to know why. I've been wanting to see them for a long time. But I guess I'm terrified. You know what I mean? I don't know why would anybody want to approach your ass, bitch. I don't even understand why would anybody want to approach your ass. Somebody said, hey. First you thought he had, I mean, you make it seem like he was this dangerous villain because, I don't know, you said, hey, maybe he wanted to, he was just, maybe he wanted to be cordial. And then he says, hey. He didn't call you hey. The guys that you complaining about didn't say hey. I guess it's just the improper way of saying hello. But I guess if he did say hello, you still use it against him. So bottom line is, he was a poor, broke drug addict. And what neighborhood do you live in? I guess that you're gonna say that's irrelevant, right? So I guess you stereotyped him out and judged him from 1 to 5 seconds. You looked at him and you assume the worst outcome. I bet you if the dude was a cute guy and he matched your preference and what you're looking for and what you wanted, you would not be making this foolish complaints. And then you're like belligerent saying, oh, hey, my name is hey, if you can't say such and such right, then shut the fuck up. So basically, if you're interested in the guy has to approach you, right? You can't approach him. And he must speak properly. He must speak the language of feminists. He must use these type of words, and he must introduce himself this particular way. Last time I checked, if you want somebody to address you a certain way, you must treat that person the way you want to be treated. I don't give a fuck if it was a fucking bump. Just crazy ass prostitutes, crazy ass bitches who approached me, and I felt terrified because it's not because of their looks to say. I try not to judge people by their looks. It's just the fact of their hygiene, their behavior, the way they just conduct themselves. It was repulsive. So why don't you just be honest and say that you just found the dude hideous and it was undesirable. But with your shallow bitch ass, you're not going to admit that it was all about looks and his status and social status and the way the person speaks and the way the person talks. It was just not appealing. Just say that. And stop your whining.
I've done that before to guys who have just go, hey, 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 you know. And so anyway, I was talking to my friends about it, and it's been a little while since I've been harassed by a man on the street. And I have to say that it just reminded me about, you know, I really thought about why a guy would do such a thing. Why would a guy go out of his way to push himself into your space? I mean, he literally pushed himself into my space. And so it just, you know, thinking about it, I'm like, well, it's the sense of entitlement. It's the same thing when you're walking down the street and a guy comes up to you and goes, smile! Like, you know, you're there for his amusement. You're there for him, and you have to do certain things to make him happy. You don't have your own feelings. You don't have your own moods. You have to change those things and adapt yourself to men. Right? And that's really what it is.
You have lost your mind. We can, you know what you just said? There might be some validity to what you're saying, but that would only apply to a minority of men you're talking about. The ones who get chicks all the time, not the ones who don't. But for women, all that stuff you filed your complaint again about men doing this and that, the same can be said in reverse. Your complaint about men having this entitlement about we want you to smile and our feelings are more important, but yours don't matter. It's a crock of crap. It's bitch, you are crazy. Bitch, you are crazy. That's all I gotta say about that. No, it's you. No, it's you. It is you. You're the one with the false sense of entitlement. You expect a guy to do it all. You want to know why men have to go out their way to talk to you and try to break the ice and try to have a conversation with your depressed, miserable, sorry ass? It's because the guy got to do it all. You have all the pick. Plain and simple. Men have to go through leaps because of the social conditioning of the television set. Hollywood, the books, the magazines that portray y'all to be smart. But Diana, let me tell you, you talk about you being rude to a guy. I'm not going to get surprised the next time you get punched in the face or get your ass whooped. Because you women are very good at creating your own domestic violence. Creating your own assaults, batteries, rapes. You do create your own killers. I'm pretty sure you will agree with me on this one. You talk about street harassment. So any guy that's kind to you and respectful of you is street harassment. So you will complain that a man won't approach you and that we need to grow a pair of balls and get the nerve to talk to you, women. But you don't have to do anything. Why don't you get the cunt, whatever you have, get the titties, you get the vagina, the clit, to talk to us men, approach us men, introduce yourself to us. Understand? How about you walk up and approach me and introduce yourself? Oh, I forgot I gotta be loaded with money. I gotta be good looking and tall. I'm not a bad looking guy. I just, your bitch is on some bullshit. Oh, I have to have my personality. I gotta have this charisma, all this fake ass character. I have to basically swag. I gotta be swagnificent. You understand? You want, yeah. I mean, I have women told me you need a smile. I need a smile after they destroyed me, deprived me out of a life, forced me out of a life because they were practicing their fucking eugenics, because they're biased, prejudice, color complex, racist ass views, practicing their misandry on me, and then they're gonna tell me to smile. That's like someone raping you, and then they tell you to smile afterwards. Y'all bitches are sick. You bitches are sick. You talking about a false sense of entitlement, but I gotta take your ass out. I gotta have the money. I gotta look like Brad fucking Pitt. I gotta be pale too. Blonde hair. Does the motherfucker got blue eyes? Probably. The all. I gotta have the mansion, the estate, the fancy cars, the fancy clothes, shoes. I gotta have some jewelry. I have to have the fashion sense. I gotta take you here and there. I gotta cater to you. I gotta listen to you. I gotta listen to your problems. I gotta listen to your pains and sufferings, your trials and tribulations, your experiences and what you're going through. But you don't want to hear none of that stuff in reverse. You don't want to hear my issues, my insecurities, my problems, my issues, my daily struggles. What I've been forced to put up with, what I have to deal with, what I'm going through, what I am in. You women don't want to hear none of that. I gotta cater to you. So, damn it. If I gotta do it all, I might as well do it my way. And I might as well run stuff. I might as well be in charge. Here's a saying, it costs to be the boss. So women, if you don't want that, then you set the standard. Then you run stuff. And take responsibility for running stuff. You want power but no responsibility. So get off your nuts and berries. A fantasy how I gotta talk to you, how he gotta do this and do that. He gotta do it all. What do you have to do? Nothing. You have the false sense of entitlement. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you something real quick where a woman admits that female privilege exists. I got a bunch of clips that proves that female privilege exists. Look at Casey Anthony. She got off scot-free from killing her own daughter. What does that tell you? Female privilege exists. You'll see it right now. Don't believe me? And then you got your slut walks. And you talking about street harassment of a guy that you don't like approaches you, but you don't have to approach no guy that you're interested in, but he has to be the guy that you like got to approach you. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. You need to get your head out of your ass and grow the fuck up. And stop living in Disneyland. I'll show you everything that you said debunks everything. Everything I say debunks everything you said. That's how it's going to play out. So you lost. Again.
A lot of people will try to explain that away and go, well, they just want to see you happy. No, that's bullshit. Okay, it's called entitlement.
About the freedoms that I have as an American. I've traveled the world and I've lived in countries where if you talk badly about politicians or people in power, you could be in prison just for saying even truthful things about them because they're perceived as being negative. And saying anything negative about the people in power would be bad. And therefore you go to jail and get punished for it. And that seems like such a basic right to me, the right to say things. How can that be a bad thing for someone to say things? If someone says something that pisses you off, just don't listen to them. It's the freedom we have here in America, and what inspired me to do this little opinion kind of piece video thing here. Big part of my philosophy as a female dominant, as a woman who makes money off of being mean to guys, off of telling men over the internet to do despicable things to themselves, humiliating them, laughing at them, maybe showing a little cleavage, and fit in my pretty little ass and getting a bunch of fucking money for it. You can't do that everywhere. And I feel so privileged to live in a country where not only as a proudly gay American woman, I can fuck who I want. In some states at least, I can even marry who I want. Now, no, it's not fucking perfect. No, we don't have every fucking right we ought to. No, it's not fucking Wonderland. But I feel safer here than in any other country I've ever been in. Here, I have the right to own a gun to protect myself. There are laws specifically stating that people can't discriminate against me because of my race, age, sex, gender, sexual orientation, or gender identity even. There are big steps happening to make even more freedom happening here. And frankly, as much as a lot of people complain, as much as a lot of my friends overseas used to make fun of me for still being a patriot even through the Bush era, I don't give a shit because I'm an American. And I'm proud to be an American dominatrix, a gay, female, bitch for hire.
Hey guys, the question is it sexual harassment for a guy to ask a girl out on a date? I guess this is a real question because at some atheist convention, a nerdy guy asked a girl out in an elevator at 4 in the morning. Because what determines sexual harassment is kind of a fuzzy concept. For example, what is it when a man talks dirty to a strange woman or says something crude? That's sexual harassment. But what is it when a woman says something crude to a strange man? And it's like $3.99 a minute. So there's a double standard. And the guy in question didn't say anything crude. He just asked her out for coffee in the elevator. This girl who received the proposition, she later made a video complaining that she felt that she was sexualized by this guy and made to feel uncomfortable. And I guess the head atheist, I guess it's like the atheist pope, Richard Dawkins, he told her she needed to get over herself. And then so all the feminists in the atheist community accused him and those types of being a misogynist. And this really confuses me because I thought women, or feminists anyway, want to be sexualized. That's why they encourage these slut walks. And they want to be empowered. That's why they have a magazine called like Bitch Magazine. Of course, I guess into how do you even define really what a slut is or what is a bitch? Personally, I define a slut as a girl that sleeps around with everyone. And a bitch is, well, I guess a girl that sleeps around with everyone except me. And I'm not really defending this guy because it's really socially awkward to ask a girl out on an elevator at 4 a.m. in the morning. And he started out with a compliment. And again, you don't want to compliment a woman right away because even if they're a feminist and they claim to like the slut culture, it brings up their anti-slut defense. It just makes them think of you as creepy. And so you don't want to say something like, oh, gee, I just noticed you. Your eyes are so pretty. They're like, ew, that's gross. Or, you know, take a deep breath and say, ah, your hair smells so good. That's just a corny line. Well, and if you're a midget, it's just really gross. But what is interesting and funny is how someone that's like an atheist feminist that probably hates Christianity and the traditional patriarchal morality, but she's really longing back to the time where strange men didn't ask women out. You only talked to a woman if you were introduced to her. So it's funny how we reinvent morality. You know, women want to be strong, empowered, and sluts, but they don't want to be sexualized. Take your pick.
And it's because
Talk to you guys later.
Men live in a sense of privilege, thinking that, you know, they're the ones that matter, right? I mean, they can walk around with, you don't see women going up to guys going, smile, 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 all the time. That doesn't happen. Right? But it's entitlement. You are going to stop what you're doing, and I'm going to demand your attention even though I don't know who you are, and you're going to look in my eyes, and I'm going to sit there and gloat over you.
She's not sensitive, and she is tough, but she gets to decide who asks her out, especially if they're males. Woodchucks, maybe that's okay. They get to decide when and where. But I literally heard from almost everybody we know on this video. Special thanks to figure out who emailed what now. Here's the plot. This girl got asked out, and she's really mad. The eminent atheist Richard Dawkins even weighed in on this idiocy, but this twit in a teapot tempest doesn't really surprise me, though. The girl is a feminist, an atheist, and from all appearances, a self-absorbed little freak. Try not to get granted. What cannot be denied, though, is that there's a huge crossover between feminists and atheists, because most feminists don't want any male overseers, and Jesus Christ is the ultimate overseer. So run. They're too powerful for Christ. And as you know, feminists are very, very brave. So rather than infuriate Muslims and wonder aloud what they're really thinking, which is, wasn't Muhammad really a woman? Rather than say that and meet a scimitar, they'd rather line up with the gays and pick on Mormons. That's the safe and cowardly play, so you know that that's the one they're going to select. But just as they hate man, they hate God. So it is inevitable that they're going to tend to be atheists. And this lightweight leads a cabal of fleas over at a website entitled Skepchick. See, they're skeptical, and they're chicks. So you better listen. Do you have a vajayjay? No, you don't have a vajayjay. So you just shut up and write down what they say, you jerk. And, oh, don't call them chicks, because that's sexist. Remember that. Anyway, she has this video link that is long, convoluted, and self-indulgent, where she tells us of her travels. She went to Dublin, and she got to go to San Francisco. And I don't know why she would go anywhere else. She should just stay in San Francisco where she belongs and become a statue. That's what I would recommend. So moronic was her video that I did what I almost never do. I left a comment on enemy ground. I never do that stuff. I wrote, me, 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 me. I just couldn't help it when I was watching it. The narcissism totally appalls. Crucially, she complained about one man who at 4 a.m. in the morning, an ally of hers, and don't even say go home before 4 a.m. because you're limiting her choices by saying that. So don't even say that. Common sense does not tell you not to walk around at 4 a.m. We all do it, especially if we're women like us. Anyway, he asked her to come to her hotel room for coffee. Very, very threatening. My goddess, get the scissors. What cracked me up about this exchange was that supposedly the guy told the little flibberty-gibbet that she was very, very interesting. Dude, there are chimpanzees out there that would find this personality sleep-inducing. Her new nickname should be Ambien. What a terrible speaker. For the uninitiated, tune in, though, to hear how sterile and privileged the feminist is. She may or may not be straight, but she gets to decide who asks her out. I mean, she's going to be looking around going, where, how, when. She gets to make that determination, because if you want to ask somebody out, then they get to ask you out first. It's all very, very clear. You should understand that, and you should try to obey. The monologue illustrates what I've been saying for years, though. The feminist is nothing more than a controlling totalitarian. They cannot handle real life. They do not know themselves. They don't know other people. And only by controlling their environment can they feel comfortable in this world. And they don't care how many laws they have to craft or how many males they have to throw into jail in order to satisfy their desires. One way or another, they're going to turn this world into a chessboard upon which the rest of us will finally move in a predictable manner, a manner that they can finally understand. Lots of you may not believe me when I say this, because I know we have a lot of feminists, most of the people that won't know. Just kidding. Show me a radical feminist, and I will invariably show you a mentally unstable fool who knows far less about this world than a 2-month-old parakeet. That's why I... off with what Richard Dawkins had to say. It was a tongue-in-cheek response. I got a link there. Dear Muslima, stop whining, will you? Yes, yes, I know you had your genitals mutilated with a razor blade. And yawn, don't tell me about that again, because I know you're not allowed to drive a car, and you can't leave the house without a male relative, and your husband is allowed to beat you and you'll be stoned to death if you commit adultery. But stop whining. Think of the suffering that your poor American sisters have to put up with. Only this week I heard of one. She calls herself Skepchick. And do you know what happened to her? A man in a hotel elevator invited her back to his room for coffee. I am not exaggerating. He really did. He invited her back to her room, his room for coffee. Of course, she said no, and of course, he didn't lay a finger on her, but even so, and you think you have misogyny to complain about. For goodness sake, grow up, or at least grow a thicker skin. That puts it in its proper perspective, but as a believer, I say leave this pig to the devil, and he can join her on a long elevator ride down to the netherworld where she finally belongs. Probably come in about 50 years by the looks of her, but we can wait. I'll see you soon.
Now, I wish I had mace on me at the time, but I didn't have any mace. But I talked to my friends later about it, and I'm gonna get a gun permit. I'm gonna start carrying a gun. It's just that simple. And optimally, the way that I see my situation is I don't think you can carry concealed in British Columbia. Ultimately, what I would want to do is get a little thigh holster and put a gun in it and walk around like that. Just kind of like as a visual deterrent. Don't fucking bother me. I know that a lot of women will go out and they'll get like big dogs like German Shepherds and Rottweilers and so on. And variations like, wolf crosses and stuff like that. Just sort of, and dobies to kind of protect them. To sort of give...
That's right. Don't bother her, guys. She'll kill you. I mean, she'll probably don't have to worry about men bothering her. I mean, look at her face. She is so ugly. And she's just a typical bitter woman. Typical man-hater. Yeah, guys. So she wants to shoot you. Men, I encourage you to shoot a woman. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's what she wants. I mean, she feels okay for a woman to carry guns and shoot men because they come across it the wrong way. So I guess if a woman dresses inappropriately, to clarify without no emotional statements, and then if she dresses provocative and she's on her high horse, walking with her nose up in the air, walking like she's above you and her hose power, shoot it. That's right. Blow her head off. Maybe we should take the Catherine Becker approach, Lorena Bobbitt approach. Cut her genitalia off and throw it into the garbage disposal. Yay! Why not? Maybe we should just kick her. Maybe we should just punch her. I don't know, whatever, man. She wants to carry a gun, we'll just blow her head off next time we see her go by. Hey, that's a war. She wants to play a gender war. I don't know why she's afraid of men. This is what she wanted. You women create your own killers by the way you treat other men, the way you treat other people, point blank. So I don't know why you terrified. I mean, you reap what you sow. Maybe, but you know what? I'll probably, Diana Boston, if I ever see you and you walking with sandals and flip-flops, I'll take some pictures of your feet and post it on the internet. That's right. Because since you won't hook your man up with some pics, some videos, no foot shove, no nothing. That's all. I mean, I don't know why you worried about what you're worried about. I mean, I can't stand seeing that face any longer. The only thing that I watch is your manicure. At least you do a decent job, but that was nice to hook your foot fetish men who it'd be nice to hook us up. Since you're a prostitute, I mean, how much do you charge? Because I'm dying for some foot action. Yay! But you might shoot me. Well, I'll shoot you back. Yay! That's right. Don't worry. You know, how about you just put the whole gun thing off? Because what's coming our way with these natural disasters and the flood, the Great Flood, and your Canadian dollar crashing, my U.S. dollar crashing, the euro crashing, all the global currencies, the global dollar crashing, and then I mean, I want to know what you do if, I mean, when the soldiers try to drag you into the concentration camp. You might scare them off with that face, though. I mean, bring in the flood. I mean, we need to wipe out parasites like yourself.
Themselves, you know, an appearance of, please do not come up to me and start talking to me if you don't know who the fuck I am. I don't want your attention. I don't want you to say hi to me. I don't want you to whistle at me. I don't want you to duck your head under my umbrella and start fucking talking to me. You know what I mean? But, you know, in my case, I don't really have the space for a dog, and if I got a dog, I would get a huge dog. I mean, there'd be no doubt about it. I was raised with huge dogs, so I mean, that would be my option if I could. But I don't have that option right now, so I think the best thing to do...
What do you mean, Diana, that you don't have the space to have a dog? You be the dog. That's right. You're the typical bitch. You be the dog, and you protect yourself. And you better learn how to hunt. Since you're that wild bitch. That's what you do. And you talking about, if you don't know me, don't approach me. Well, then you shouldn't complain while you by yourself and lonely and miserable. I mean, really. Then you should just stay in solitary confinement. You should just stay in that apartment for life. Don't come out. I mean, to know people, what you don't understand, to know somebody, you have to interact with them, talk to them. So how do you have your friends, and how do you have people know you, and how do you become so popular? I think you have to interact with them, right? Oh, I forgot. You on your eugenics. Fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Because you're so dumb.
Is for me to carry in Canada and carry openly in Canada. To carry. But I think I need it. I really do at this point. I used to be somebody who was really anti-gun. But you know what? Living as a woman and in this society where, you know, guys are just, you know, they think that you are only in this world to please them, and they will do things and go in your space and, you know, make a nuisance out of themselves, and they won't leave you alone when you're just minding your own business and doing your own fucking thing. I mean, it's just gotten to the point where it's like, I just want to wear a piece just on my thigh. That's it. You know? And I'll practice and I'll do whatever I have to do this legally and properly. I pulled out my knife, my knife in the blog TV session. But, you know, realistically, this isn't, I mean, if I was going to carry a knife, I'd carry a switchblade. I mean, this is just too much time to fuck around with this. You know, I mean, that would be the only thing that I would feel comfortable carrying. And, again, that would be something that I would carry openly, you know, so that I could get to it really, really quickly. And I know a lot of people go, yeah, well, if the guy's really upset, he's going to take it and turn it on you. Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, if I'm the one wearing it and I'm the one that's used to it and I know, you know, like, you have to train your reflexes to be really, really quick. You know, I have the advantage. And I have the advantage just because it's open and people can see it. That means don't fuck with me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so let Peacemaker know about this video, Clyde. I'm going to start carrying a fucking gun. I've had enough. And that's my story about street harassment. Men, when you do this, you act like utter fucking fools. You're not going to get my attention. You're not going to get a date. The only thing you're going to get is me walking away going, wow, you are a creepy fucking guy, and I hope to fucking hell and Christ that I never fucking see you again. So don't do it. And you know what, guys? If you see other guys doing it, stop them. This is what I don't understand. I mean, there was a street full of people, and not one person did anything. Nobody. It's time that I think, you know, if men don't want to, you know, have these kinds of labels put on them, and they you know, they say, oh, well, I'm not like that. Well, then do your part so that other guys don't give you a bad name either. Because that's just the reality of it. All right.
Where's my violin? Oh, the sad story. Oh, the poor woman. That's all I hear. The same sob story, or you're angry at a situation that has nothing to do with you. Some other chick got it in a bad situation. And then you're all angry for her. I mean, my thing is, if she went for the bad situation, let her be angry. Let her tell her story. You understand? If you've never been attacked, never been raped, let the victim talk. You don't talk for them because you're using that as a part of your own misandric feminazi agenda to justify your hatred for men, and you don't even know the whole story of what went on. That doesn't excuse the act. However, women bring it on themselves. And I'll tell you why, Diana, that I will not talk to other men about this. Well, I'm trying to talk to other men about this. I'm trying to tell men to stop worshiping y'all. Stop kissing your ass. Stop kissing their asses. Stop kissing these women's asses. Stop kissing their feet. Unless you into that, like I am. You know, give her a foot massage, but that's it. But don't worship. Don't do it out of a worship sense. Just get your own rocks off. Get your pleasure off. The reason why we ain't gonna help you, we as men are not gonna help you. Your poor situation, oh poor Diana, is because you said you're strong and independent. Didn't you say you don't need no man? Didn't you say you're strong and independent? That you have the right to choose. It's your choice. You could do whatever you want to do. Didn't you just say that? You've been saying that for the last 50 years of this feminaziism. 70 years. It's been longer than that. Why don't you tell these women to stop forcing guys to be alone? Stop stereotyping them out with their fucking hit list of high expectations. Judging a man from 1 to 5 seconds and don't even know the guy. Get to know somebody. Give them a fair shake. Just like you want a fair shake. How about maybe we'll be friends? I mean, what I see is a guy being friendly, but you don't want him. Because he doesn't fit your hit list of high expectations. And then you try to change the guy. If you change the guy too quick, maybe you enlighten him to get serious in life, with his life. Then you don't want him because there's no challenge, because you can control him even though you're not really controlling him. Or he got his shit together and now you can't run stuff. You can't be the leader of the relationship. You can't run anything. Now he wants you to follow him. Well, I mean, if he has to do it all, you better follow me. and do what I say. Do what I tell you to do. You women bring it on yourselves, man. Maybe you will stop asexually raping men and raping men out of a life. Stop taking advantage of men financially, socially destroying a man because you don't get your wants. Stop using your body as a weapon, your private parts as a weapon. That means your breasts, your crotch, your clit, your vagina, your asshole, your legs. I mean, those are the private parts. But then your outer body parts, your legs, your ankles, your feet, your hands. Stop using your body as a weapon. I mean, why don't you check your gender? You check your side. If you want this gender war to stop, we'll stop when you stop. That's how it's going to go. Until you step off your pedestal. Maybe, I mean, all I see is men trying to be friendly. How about you approach the man? If you're interested in the man, you approach him, you do all the courting. How about equal courtship? Let's be equal across the board. Nah, I can't do that. You got to be on top because that's what it's about. You want to run stuff. If you would have watched, you probably watch my videos behind the scene. But you know you're gonna get smacked. I'll smack everything you say down. Just ask Christine Peace and that other girl from England. Boundless eyes. I shut her down a long time ago. And out of every other feminist on here, in the last almost 3 years I've been on here. I mean, you want to carry a gun. That's not going to solve anything. Shoot, the dude can carry a gun too. What, you think you have the right to make the first strike? Well, maybe you wouldn't have to worry about the society. I mean, what kills me about this, the majority of women are raising the boys. You're raising your sister. You got a lot of single moms raising these boys. And don't try to blame it back on the man. Women willingly get pregnant because she allowed the man to get inside, unless it was a rape. She chose to have the baby, or she can choose to have the abortion. There's many times when a guy was ready to be a father and wanted to have a child, and the woman killed the child. Blatant murder. Because she didn't want to see the man happy. So that's why she killed the child. No, he wanted to be a father and have a goal, and she was not ready for that, so she abandoned her responsibility and killed the child. There's men who fight for custody to see their kids, and the women kill the kids. Because that's how selfish and evil you bitches are. You're very evil. I mean, all I hear in this video is anger and evil. You're talking about discomfort.
Everybody's talking about this whole uncomfortable thing. Uncomfortable. Sorry, but the world does not revolve around you women, okay? I'm sorry. If you want to feel uncomfortable, that's too bad. Stay inside. Stay inside, okay? And that's pretty much it. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know why this even got the light of day. I don't know why anybody's defending this girl. Cause, I mean, as that same YouTuber said, what is a guy to do? Here it is. The guy did exactly what the girl wanted, which was to respect her saying no and all that, and yet he's still getting castrated. So what is he to do? And you know, again, my thing is, okay, you're asking a feminist out. That was the first problem, but I mean, this is sad. But anyway, this is sad. Anyway, this should show people exactly what you're going up against. Apparently, some girl feeling uncomfortable in an elevator with some dude that she was comfortable with the entire time before. still in the same strange country, still at the same ungodly hours of the morning, is somehow of any importance at all. Yep, I believe I understood. Well, shit, I always understood, but I believe this is somewhat, if evidence, if not proof, that Western women are a bit too privileged. They are the most. I mean, they can sit here and bitch about. Even Richard Dawkins himself came out and said it. Yo, there are Muslim women in other parts of the world that have a lot more crap going on, and yet this girl is bitching about getting hit on, about being interested, about some guy being interested in her. You know, and it's like, how much privilege do you have in society for you to be able to do that, and people actually take it seriously, actually say anything to your defense instead of telling you to shut the hell up and fuck off, you know? Makes no sense to me, but a girl is sitting here complaining about being hit on. Good Lord. That is freaking sad. I mean, I don't know. But that's it. This is a joke. This is an absolute joke, and guys, now you see what you potentially have to deal with. Because this could have been any girl, okay? And who knows what she could have came out and said. Oh, she could have made up some story, because like the amount of false rape accusations that have been springing up over the past couple of years is a lot more than normal. So she could have sit here and said, he did this, he did that, and it was he said, she said. And of course, you know, the moment some girl cries rape or something, apart from the rape shield laws that protect her from any kind of scrutiny, okay, people automatically take her side, because if you don't, you're demonized as blaming the victim. So, guys, this is what you have to deal with. Okay, this is why you need to be careful, because this is the privilege that women can get away with, a la feminism, and it's just ridiculous.
Like I said, the world does not revolve around you. You don't run this world. You don't run nothing. You're not the elite. I know the elites gave you table scraps. Gave you more freedom than the common man. But at the end of the day, you don't run nothing. Nobody does. It doesn't matter if you are awkward. You're in a compromise. I mean, unless you're in a compromise predicament where it's life-threatening, I mean actual life-threatening, then you should worry. But the world and time is not going to stop moving because you're unhappy. The world does not revolve around you. So it doesn't matter if you are uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable. Time will not stop on your account so you can be happy. Men are not going to be silent just to put a smile on your face. The world will not stop because you want to get comfortable, because you're uncomfortable. The world will not stop. We have a right to do whatever we want to do as long as men are not breaking the law. None of the men that you complain about, what laws were broken? What laws were broken? None. So whatever you feel is on you. It's your problem. If you feel that way, get out of there. Then you need to leave. You just need to stay inside. And then you're going to say, well, I can do whatever. Then you need to be quiet. Then why are you complaining? I mean, the world is not going to stop. Society needs to stop bending over backwards for you. So, because you felt a little awkward and a little uncomfortable. Every time I hear that uncomfortable bullshit, I mean, damn. I mean, when you're on the cell phone and some of you women driving on your cell phone, girl, I get uncomfortable to death. You went living on your cell phone talking and yelling and arguing with your boyfriend, and then you see me, I want to run the opposite direction. Then you want to give me stress about your problems, or you want to lash out on me. I mean, you have women, walking, walking the street, walking through the mall, the streets, yelling and cursing out their boyfriend, or you just have women walking around mad and angry and they see a man, they just want to just give him all the dirty looks. That is extreme. Extreme discomfort, and that is extremely uncomfortable for a lot of men. The only men who like that is manjanas. The drama. You women giving me drama, giving us men drama, makes us feel uncomfortable. But y'all don't give a fuck about that. You don't care about that. I mean, what about your menstrual cycle? That makes men, I'm pretty sure everybody uncomfortable. How about we gotta man up? Right? That's what you're gonna say? Take it like a man. You being emotionally upset over nothing makes me uncomfortable. I mean, PMS, uncomfortable, and then you use it as an excuse. And we got the other things that make that you women make men uncomfortable. You're moody all the time. And then when y'all, I mean, the worst part is when y'all get drunk. Y'all become extreme with your bitchiness. I just extreme, you just become all hoarse and you turn into bitches and you're very flaky. That makes me uncomfortable because whatever you do, it puts our lives in danger. And especially with these racial laws, that if you have consensual touching and consensual sex, then you can turn around and say it was rape because you have regrets for what your immoral acts were the other day, the other night. Because you have a regret for giving it up too easy. Or to protect your image of you being a hoe, a slut, which you are. So you're the whole selfishness, because you want to tell men how they gotta operate and how to manage their feelings, but you don't want to do that. How we gotta express ourselves and how we gotta talk to you, but it's okay. But you feel you can express you feel you have every right to express the way you feel and act on your primal desires and your lust. But we can't condemn you for it. Get out of here. You just want to control our behavior and be fine with that. You want to dictate how our behavior should be and manage it. So basically you want a robot, a computer. That's not the real world. That's not reality. Time to wake up from Disneyland. Well, you dressing provocative just to get attention? Shoot, I want a jet. Especially if especially if you're a single mother. I ain't trying to holler at, I don't want to holler at you and take care of another man's responsibility, and your responsibility is on top of that. We didn't ask for none of that. The man and I did not ask for that. So why don't you check the faults of your gender? Then, because men are going to do our part. Why don't you check the faults of your gender? Then maybe things will get on track. If you want men to stop behaving badly, then women need to stop rewarding it. Every time when men do something nice, you don't reward it. You wrong the wrong guy on purpose, just so you can stay on your pedestal. And that's what I did in my last video. Address that. If women told men the honest truth of what they really wanted. If you want men to straighten up, then women got to straighten up first, because y'all the choosers, and I mean, like I said, this is the responsibility you have when it comes to a matriarchy. You bear the children. You have influence. You have the influence on the boys that become men. I mean, kids have the influence from the mother, not the father. That's later in life. But a lot of us are missing that element because the woman don't want the dad there because she wants to be the man, and then cry about it when some bad stuff happens because the man's not around. When the fact is you just want to be children and do whatever you want to do, but don't have no responsibilities. You just want to do whatever you want, like a child, but don't want to deal with the consequences and repercussions of your actions and your decisions. So Diana, you need to, and you other women, y'all just need to get your heads out of your ass and grow up and wake up. Because if you want the solution to change, then you need to look within, look in the mirror. Now, I'll say this: now, just because I may not conform to society, that doesn't mean I'm the problem. The majority of you people are the problem. And that's how I'm going to leave it. If people would use their own brains and use their own minds and stop being victims of mind control, then you wouldn't have this chaos. And I'm going to leave it at that. Anyway, if you want to change, then you got to make the change with us. Peace.
That's a good one, ain't it? It's got an interesting dogma that says that men are slime no matter what they do, unless they're basically behaving like castrated, asexual imps that just kind of, yeah, ooh, the pretty lady, she talking, and that's all I need to know. The girl's name is Rebecca Watson, and it's quite fortunate that her last name is Watson because it really draws attention to the fact that she is no Sherlock Holmes. She doesn't, I'm a thinking man. Another question. What's wrong with hitting on a girl? Really, what's wrong with asking a girl for coffee? Even if your objective is, I'm going to stick my dick in this girl, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with consensual, casual sex between two adult people? I don't see the fucking problem. Do you guys see the problem? Can you explain to me the problem? It's not like this guy said, hey, we're going to have sex and you have no choice in the matter. And it's not even like this guy said, hey, do you want to have sex? Which I still think would have been okay. But he said, you want to get some coffee? Maybe the motherfucker just wanted coffee. I mean, seriously. Is there anyone out there who's kind of perplexed by this? I mean, like, this is not an outrageous incident. It's not like, you know, she was in the elevator with a fucking like renowned fucking atheist and like Steven Pinker or something, and he just like whips out his dick like, yeah, start sucking, bitch. This is a guy asking a girl to his room for coffee, asking if she wants to come to his room for coffee. Oh, you just view me as an object. I'm just a piece of meat to you. Ooh. Does anyone here watching this video right now think for a second that there would be any backlash whatsoever in that situation? What if it was two guys? What if it was a guy and another guy, and they're gay, and one says to the other, want to get some coffee? Does that mean that gay men view other men as objects? Does that mean that they're sexist against their own sex? Okay, now I know that there must be some people out there watching this video. Maybe it's a lot of you, maybe it's only a few of you. I don't fucking know. But there's bound to be someone watching this video who disagrees with me, who says, yes, she was right to have that reaction, and the atheist community must stand up against sexism and blah, blah, blah.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I find you very interesting, and I would like to talk more. Would you like to come to my hotel room for coffee? Just a word to the wise here, guys. Don't do that.
Why the fuck not? I have a question for everyone out there. I know there's probably not a lot of you, but some of you probably agree with this girl. Some of you probably agree that guy was way out of fucking line, and he needs the scarlet letter pinned to his fucking chest for life because he's an evil, deranged pervert, and sexism is a rampant problem in the atheist community, and this is the evidence for it. I have a question. How should guys behave when they're around a girl they want to sleep with? Like, do we just never bring it up? I mean, do we try to bring it up even more subtly than want to come back for some coffee? Do we have to have a complex network of code words that you know could be understood only in a certain context is what we're actually talking about to maximize the comfort of the girl being hit on? So, because that's the thing, she says, it made me uncomfortable.
I don't really know how else to explain how this makes me incredibly uncomfortable.
Who gives a fuck? Who fucking cares if you were uncomfortable in a fucking elevator for 12 seconds? Oh, this is an awkward ride. Lord fucking forbid. Lord forbid that there was an awkward tension between you and another human being. Lord knows that's exclusive to girls. Lord knows that there's never been any other situation in the history of mankind where two people shared an awkward moment together. The only difference now, actually, is that now we spend an awkward moment together and we look for the systemic root of the problem. We're going to solve the problem of awkward moments with strangers in elevators. That's a fucking pandemic. Why are this bitch's panties in a bunch about some guy asking her if she wants coffee in an elevator? That's the first thing we need to ask ourselves. The second thing, and the more important thing, is why does everyone give a flying fuck? No one should give a flying fuck. If your fuck is flying around, cut its wings off and staple it to the fucking earth, because it doesn't belong up there. What is reasonable about pinning a scarlet letter to this guy's chest? What is scientific about declaring that you don't care about human biology, you don't care about the rules of attraction anymore? The only thing you care about is your own comfort, your own feeling of, yeah, this is how the world should be. This is how it ought to be. And anyone who disagrees with me is a misogynist. Anyone who disagrees with me is a sexist. You are the sexist. I call you a sexist because you presume to tell men what to do with their feelings and how to express themselves when it really has no impact on you aside from a moment of discomfort. A moment of discomfort that really only springs from the fact that you've embraced this stupid, tired, disproven ideology. I find you to be sexist because you know damn well that if it was a man and in that elevator, if it was a woman and in that elevator, if it was a man and a woman in the elevator but the situation were reversed, you would have no fucking complaints. And you'd be me right now. You'd be up here saying, what a stupid situation the atheist community has cared about. But because the situation can be viewed through the lens of your prejudice and your bigotry, you've decided to make a mountain out of this molehill. It's not even a molehill. You decided to make a mountain out of a fucking pimple. And not even a big honking pimple, but one of those pimples that you can barely see. You're kind of touching your head and then you feel it and you look in the mirror and you can't even find it for a second, but then you kind of see it and you just like, and you realize it's too small to even pop. That is the insignificance of this fucking situation. And somehow you've gotten Richard Dawkins to comment on your tiny little unnoticeable pimple of an issue. Congratulations for wasting everyone's time.